Welcome back to the Brothers on the Run podcast. We are your hosts, Jason and Casey Melvin, and today we're going to dive into Casey's second week of training. More specifically, his speed run, his long run, and his bike ride to Coors Field, where he prospected a future running trail. Lastly, we're going to round out the show with my stories from the Vortex Ultra here in Sedona, Arizona last weekend. Holy cow, I learned a ton about races. I learned a ton about ultra runners and a lot about the mindset aspect of running. I learned a lot being a part of this race. So let's get into it. Casey, how was your second week of training?
So before getting into the running aspect of it, got this bad boy last week.
Yes, you're no longer a
I've evolved from a Neanderthal to a Renaissance man runner.
dude.
After a
Now,
couple more things, I'll
now
be a modern man.
you are super official. It took me months, man. So you got the pace 3.
Yeah.
Okay, I've got the pace 2. So we're gonna have some at least we're both team Koros.
Yep, all day.
Koros, if you're listening, we'd appreciate a sponsorship, discount code or whatever, however this works. But yeah, that is dope. Seriously, I ran for way too long without a watch, and I didn't even have to peer pressure you that hard. You understood the assignment.
Just like the information it gives you, man, is crazy. Like I don't even know what half the stuff means yet. It's crazy, man. But like also like I noticed with running with the app, it would tell you your pace for your whole run. And when you're running like intervals and stuff, that doesn't help you much. So like this is super live. It's really updated with your exact current pace.
Yeah, I just can't talk enough about the benefits of having a running watch. It provides the most data. I mean, that's essentially what it is it's
Yeah.
just a data tracking. It's tracking your fitness if you know what you're looking at and you know what the information means. So a lot of what we're going to get into over the coming weeks is basically, I mean, pace, but the correlation to your heart rate, because
Yeah.
that's how you really tap into, like, people think that they're running slow enough or fast enough, and you're not. Like, if you think you're running really fast but your heart rate is only 150, you can run faster.
Yeah. Like it gives you your training load at the end of it. And I think
Yeah,
like mine was what like the max was 175. So I don't really know the ranges yet, but based
your
on
max
that, a
your
medium,
your max heart rate or your training load.
the max heart rate was 175, but it said training load was medium. So I'm assuming you can push it harder.
What kind of a run was it?
I think that was the speed run.
Okay, good. So that is awesome. So you have 5-inch shorts, you have a watch. Now we just need, I mean, you're pretty much
Running
set.
hats and some new
You
shoes.
need hats and shoes. We're gonna get into that over the next couple weeks. But now that you're getting your legs under you, you have a watch, you have data to track.
Hmm.
That's a beautiful thing. So what else is going on? Is there any other gear you want to get into before we start talking about your second week of training?
No, we'll save that for another week. Not shopping for shoes yet.
There you go. Yeah, you're still cutting teeth.
Yeah,
This is
but
very new
overall,
process.
week one, it's kind of surprising how fast like your body starts to progress and like it gets easier a lot quicker. Not super easy, but like it's not total hell getting out there. And it's like now it's fun, honestly. Wrapping up week one, like I'm starting to enjoy it, having fun with it. So I'm excited to see where it goes from there.
Yeah, and I love this because when it starts getting fun, and you like look forward to it and you get out and you get that rush. I mean, I would love to say it goes away. Like every time I go out on a run, I get amped up,
Yeah.
so it's like, you get that dopamine hit, you get your blood moving a little bit. It is fun. So, all right, you're adapting pretty quick. you're gaining cardiovascular fitness rather quick. Are there any other overall themes that you've transitioned or you've noticed going from week one to week two?
Well, when I first started, it was what, 70 degrees. And then a couple of my runs last week, I dealt with some frozen rain, mist, snow. The next day, there was 2 inches of snow on the ground and it was coming down a little bit. So I kind of have a different feel with weather and running, and I prefer the cold stuff, man. I ain't gonna lie. Not only that, like running in the rain or like when it's snowing, it just adds like this extra element to it. I don't know. Like, I don't know if it's adrenaline or it just makes it more. I don't know. I liked it. It helped push me through for sure. Felt more intense.
Yeah, I'll put it like this. One of the strongest runs I could remember early on when I was living in Florida. Like when I was living in Florida, that's when I started running.
Yeah.
And I started opening up my mind to thinking like, okay, I'm looking at things a little bit differently. And one of the runs I went on, it was nighttime. I want to say it was like 9 o'clock at night. And I went and it was a thunderstorm in Florida. Like it was
Yeah.
pouring. And
Yeah.
I remember just feeling like such an animal.
It's
You
like
know what I mean? You'd think
apocalypse now. Just
Apocalypse Now or like a Ray Lewis highlight reel. Like, you know what I mean? You get those like heavy hitting football reels in
yeah.
your mind, like that highlight tape. You just feel like I just entered a new mindset. Like I entered a new body. I'm such a beast because I'm running in the rain.
Yeah.
All it is a little rain. That's all it takes.
Maybe it's the dryness too. I swear I haven't broken a sweat running out here. Maybe I'm not drinking enough. Maybe it's the super dryness, but yeah, that
Yeah.
liquid to the skin feels good.
Yeah. Liquid, some good liquidity on the run. Yeah. The lack of humidity where we live in like a high desert climate, because if this is your first time tuning in, Casey lives in Denver and I live in Sedona. These are both like pretty high altitude, high desert climates. It's a little warmer here. Like I can just tell Casey's wearing a crew neck sweatshirt right now if you're not watching on YouTube. And I'm sweating. It's been hot the past couple days, dude. We're gonna get into the Vortex Ultra. Let me tell you what those runners got. I feel for them, man. It was like 85 degrees, not a cloud
Oh.
in the sky. They got cooked. They got cooked. So yeah, running, like you just said, running in cooler temps is better. Running in cooler temps is actually the most ideal
hmm
because if you think about the outside cooler temperature keeps your body temperature down. It allows you to push harder for longer. You know what I mean? It's like it's keeping you cool
Yeah, it
so
just
that
doesn't like
you can burn your engine
you don't get
hotter.
cooked. Like
Oh
we were
yeah.
joking last week about gear and we brought up merino wool. Hey man, I wore that merino wool, that's it, and my shorts, perfect.
That is dope. That's actually really cool.
Heard someone say it before, it was shitty weather doesn't exist, shitty gear does.
Yeah, that's a perfect way to put it. You got to dress for the elements.
Yeah.
And I will say this, the high desert climate that we both live in is going to feel a little bit different when we're back on the East Coast in right around the North Carolina, South Carolina border running. We're not going to have an issue with sweating down
No.
there. Because it's going to be humid. But all right, so let's get into your specific runs. I know you had a couple recovery runs in there, but total runs from last week, I guess just, yeah, let's just go total runs. How many times did you run?
I had two speed runs, a long run. Well, if we count today's speed run, this is the beginning of the week 2 block. Yesterday's recovery was 2.
Okay.
So we'll just include that.
Okay.
So we had 2 recoveries, 2 speeds, and 1 long run.
All right. Let's break down your speed runs. What did they look like?
All right. The first one was, let's see. That was the no, this was today. Today, I was supposed to do hills
Yes.
speed run, but yeah, I didn't have time to get out towards Morrison. I think I might go run the bleachers or the steps at Red Rocks when I decide to do that, maybe on Wednesday. But today was the 7 minutes at 5K pace.
What's your 5K pace?
Let's see. Today it was. I have to bring it. That's something I got to get down with the chorus, though. I tried to put in a custom interval workout, and it didn't work out the way I wanted it to.
Oh,
Like it
I
skipped over my rest times, dude. So I didn't
yeah.
know. I was
Yeah,
like, I
you
gotta scratch this, man.
yeah, you have to build in the rest time. Like,
I
dude,
did
it's
it.
it's it's hard. I've done that before and I've tried to build in the actual laps and all of that, like what I was doing.
Yeah.
And it's just too it's tough. You
Hmm.
have to like really sit down and iron it out and you have to build in the times for rest, but then when you build in the rest it warps the overall pace.
Hmm.
So what I would do is I would build in all the laps with no rest and then I would get done a lap or an interval and then pause the watch.
Yeah.
Although was yours a run jog?
I built a custom one.
The Nike app probably tracked it better
Yeah, I
than
have
your
it all. I
watch.
had it there. I got it all up now.
All right, what do you got?
Back into it. So reverting back to the first speed run, it looked like it was a first you had to warm up and then here, hold up. All I'm seeing is my speed. So it was a minute and a half at okay, this needs to be more. So I'm assuming 7:18 is my mile pace. Do they usually start you off slower?
What do
Let's
you
see.
mean?
I don't remember the order of this workout is the problem. And there's 10 intervals, so it's like it's all over the place.
Well, what does it look like?
The first interval, it was an 8 minute, 12-second pace. Third
For
interval,
how much time?
a minute and a half.
Okay.
So that was probably a mile or a 5K pace.
Probably 5K.
Yeah, and then we had 8 minutes, 23 seconds, and a minute and a half. So that's probably and then back to 8 minutes, 13 seconds, and then 8:17, then 7:18.
7:18?
Yeah, that was a mile one for sure.
Yeah.
And then an 8:07, and then a 7:55 and a 7:56. Is there a way I can view straight up? They should show you like, oh, this was in the snow too, by the way.
There you go.
Okay, here we go. Here we go. So it was okay. There's no 10K pace on this one. It was a minute and a half, 5K pace, 5K pace, 5K, 5K mile, 5K,
Mhm.
5K, 5K mile.
Okay. That's pretty good. You're pretty dialed.
I mean, I don't think I'm gonna go out and run a 5K this weekend at an 8:14 pace, to be completely honest with you. I was pushing it.
The good Here's what you might be right, but also you might be wrong.
Yeah, that's
So
true.
the good thing is you're running intervals and you're running them the right way. You're running faster than what your race day pace is going to be for the half marathon.
Yeah.
That's really what speed workouts are for. Whether you're doing these smaller intervals, timed intervals, or like distance intervals, let's say like laps around a track, what you're really doing is pushing harder in shorter spurts than you're gonna run in the half marathon. So
Yeah.
that the half marathon pace, which is going to be 9 minutes a mile, that's the goal, is going to feel a little bit easier. So speed work, that's what speed work is doing. It's getting you comfortable going harder than the half marathon pace.
That's something else the chorus does too. It has your estimated times
Yeah.
for 5K, 10K, halfy.
Yeah.
Right now, the half marathon estimated time is 2 hours and 10 minutes. So
No,
you gotta shave those 10 off, dude.
we're gonna beat that. Trust. 210. No, we're gonna beat that. Um,
And then today's speed run was warm up and then 3 sets of 7 minutes at 5K pace.
how did
So
that go?
first one I did 9 minutes and 5 seconds. Second one, 8 minutes 41. The third one and the last one, 8:38.
I wanted you to hit in the 820s, but that's okay.
Little note, little side note.
All right.
Left knee was hurting a little bit on this one, man.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, now we're gonna get into some. Okay, so you
It
have
feels
to
like my left leg is longer than my right leg. I might have to get realigned or something, but
maybe
I'm feeling good.
um it probably would be a good idea to go get stretched out
Yeah.
by somebody, and we're gonna talk more about like rehab and stretching and preventative maintenance. Like you should get a lacrosse ball is one of the greatest things you can do for your feet. Like
Mhm.
just roll out your feet all the time. A lacrosse ball is great for like your glutes and like
Roll on it.
like yeah, you
Part of
can.
me thinking like, could this be the fact that I'm running on pavement with trail shoes? I don't know the science behind it all, but there's not much cushion there.
Well, you've got the peg trails, so I mean it's enough and it's fine. I would say where you would feel those shoes because they're a little bit heavier is you'd feel it in your hip flexors. But if you're feeling it in your knee going forward, I want you to watch where you're putting your knee down, like where you're putting your foot down.
Hmm.
Because, like, when you're running, you should be leaning a little bit forward and your feet should never be landing in front of your body. Because if they're landing in front of your body, you're braking
Yeah.
and you're,
I took the time to like really focus on that today. And there was a
yeah,
point where like I was in the groove, felt like I was kind of floating. And I was like, that's how I was running, just kind of just gliding.
lean
My foot,
forward.
I don't even know if my foot was coming up like past like, where my waist would be.
It should be right under your waist.
Yeah. And then like kicking off further back. But
Yeah. Okay.
but then it's like it's just crazy how like a little bit of discomfort it can just throw off your form. And like you might start running a little straight up a little bit, and then it just gets worse.
Yeah. Well, pay attention to that. And I mean, I'll send you some accounts that show some really good form techniques and we can start trying to tighten up that form a little bit. I
Oh yeah.
mean, what
It
especially
definitely it definitely slowed me down. Like I could feel it. Also, another side note on that, since you're picking at my time, the winds were heavy today, man. And when I was running against it, like I was looking at my watch. When it was really blowing against me, I was like at like a 9:30. Like it was big time slowing me up.
there is nothing harder.
Yeah.
Seriously. In running against a strong headwind is utterly demoralizing. It
Yeah.
is it's like what is going on here? You know what I mean? Like you don't
Mhm.
think it's that big of a deal. Like it's not a wind that's going to knock you over, but it's slowing you down to the point where it gets in your head immediately. And
Yeah,
you're
because like
just
the way
like,
my legs were moving too, I was like, I feel like I'm moving, man. Like I'm getting it right now. And then I look down, I'm like, oh God, 9:30 pace, man. This is not where I want to be right now.
yeah, yeah. So, all right, that's okay. I mean, and again, I just want to say this to the people listening and mainly number one to you. Paces are just data. Like we have goals and we're setting goals because we want to break 2 hours. I think that's a solid goal to have. But again, if we don't, that's really not the end of the world. We're just taking data to see and track your progression and to see where you're at and to adjust accordingly. Um,
Yeah, like as a beginner, I think it's one of the key pieces to help me feel like I'm getting dialed in and understanding where I'm at and all that.
yeah, and I'll just say this, like I ran for too long running the same distance and the same pace, and I never
Yeah.
got much better. But when I implemented the first plan, the plan that you're doing, I I took off, and it was crazy.
Speed runs that do it, right?
And long runs, like
Yeah.
slower, easier long runs mixed with speed runs, because I was always pushing. I'm like redlining when I'm out running 3 miles. And if you
Mhm.
just repetitively do that, like, yeah, you're going to get a little bit strong. You're going to get stronger, but at the same time, it,
I mean, it's like lifting weights. You gotta lift heavier stuff to get stronger. You gotta switch it up, go faster, go harder every now and then.
yeah, you got to switch it up and go harder, but running longer and slower helps your body show up to run harder and faster on those speed days. So it's balancing the two, because one, the zone two work helps your, aerobic fitness where you can run longer, and it
Mhm.
helps you build that stamina. Whereas if you're just a speed runner, you're never really going to get that aerobic fitness. Like, you're not going to gain the endurance. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's what it looks like. So we're just taking data. All right, now let's get into your long run. What was that?
The long run was scheduled for 4 miles, but the cool down jog that cut across the park back to the truck made it 4.4. Um, let's see. And I did it at a 9 minute and 28 second pace. And with that, I mostly just listened to, what they were telling me, like go slow, be comfortable, be confident, feel strong. And it's the whole run, I felt like I could talk and like have a conversation. So it felt good.
Yeah, that's solid. I mean, that's it. You have to feel that pace out. And a 9:30 pace, that's a solid pace to just run, maintain, not get too winded. I wish I could get. Do you have your heart rate for that or no? Did you not run it with your
Dude,
watch
that
yet?
was my first one with it. Average heart
Yes.
rate was 160.
Okay.
I don't know what that means. Is that high? Is that average? No.
It's a little high, but
Okay.
you're just starting. So that's okay. So when I say long, slow runs boost your aerobic fitness,
Yeah.
what it does is the more runs you log like this, your heart rate, you'll watch it get lower and lower and lower to
Hmm.
run the same pace. That's how you get stronger as a runner. And when you show up to run like 160 pace, here's the hard thing. Running a half marathon is a weird pace. It's like slightly comfortable, but it's
Hmm.
also slightly uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Whereas like 5K and 10K, they're pretty uncomfortable.
Yeah.
And like a
I
marathon,
feel like a half marathon, like probably the back, like you get that runner's high at a certain point and you just
oh,
kind of it takes over, but then I'm sure it wears off a little bit towards the end there.
yeah, yeah, it does. I typically get my big runner's high at like 6 miles. And I just feel unstoppable. And I can't wait until you tap into that. But yeah, that's where you're going to see the real progression.
Hmm.
This program is going to build you slow, like 4 miles. That's a good start. And you're creeping towards, like, within a matter of weeks, you're probably going to be pushing longer than you ever have before.
This week is a 5 mile run, and then next week it goes up to like 6.2 or 6.4 or something.
Yeah.
And that's probably close to the longest run for me personally.
Yeah. Well, that is sick. What else? So you had hills today, but you couldn't run hills. So today I did hills. I did hill repeats. I went across the street and I ran up a mountain, just a mile and a half up. I shared that on the stories today, so people will know what I'm talking about. Little scamper up the mountain, but it felt good. I was inspired by the Vortex Ultra runners, and it was good to get out and get my feet in the dirt after not running really last week because I was super busy.
Busy.
Uh,
You're busy.
I was busy, man, sun up to sun down. But real quick, I want to finish out your block. So your long run this week coming up is 5 miles.
5 miles, yep.
What do the speed workouts look like?
So the one I did today was one of them, and
Yep.
then the hill workout is the other one. So I'm gonna do that Wednesday, probably go run the stairs at the Red Rocks Amphitheater. Maybe see someone famous up there. I don't know.
That is there's no other like little area you could go to where you have like a little,
So it calls for
is it like 2 minute intervals?
there's 15 seconds at your best pace, but then there's like 45 seconds at 10K pace, and there ain't enough hill in Denver for that, honestly.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of like a long stretch of stairs or something, but nah, I don't. I got nothing.
Yeah, I stairs would work, but it would be better if it was like a road hill.
Yeah.
But
That's the thing. I mean, even if I go to Red Rocks, they got that too. I'll just run a paved hill.
there you go. All right. Well,
But there's
that's
also two recovery runs. Let me break those down real quick.
yeah.
So the first one, I enjoyed it. It was one of the headspace runs.
Mm,
Thought that was pretty cool, man.
yeah. Get zenned up, you
Yeah,
know.
like, you said a few things I like. They're like, you like running kind of it hurts. It's not necessarily fun to start it, but you never regret your decision to run and you never feel worse after the fact. That's for sure.
Never.
And then the second one, I substituted it for a bike ride to the Rockies game, was 5 miles both ways, so about 10 miles total. Yeah, I think the max heart rate on that was about like 115, so that's probably where you should be at for a regular recovery run.
That's low,
Yeah.
but that's fine. You know what I mean? Like I told you, it's better that you're in that area. uh, Like that's active recovery. So that's good. Like I'd rather you be below the threshold a little
Mhm.
bit than above it and pushing too hard than, you know, pushing harder than you should because that's not helping. Like there's these gray areas where like if your easy run, if your heart rate is too high, it's not an easy run anymore.
Yeah.
So like it's not doing what it should be doing for your body and for your fitness.
Hmm.
So I'd rather you be too low. 115 is good, but I mean, really, you found some pretty cool areas to run in. I mean, you sent me the videos. Like that river trail looked
Yeah.
awesome, man.
And I wanted to test it out first, before taking the kiddo, because there can be some characters in the city, but it was fine. It was a good area, and I think once my long runs start creeping towards 10, that'll be a fun way to get it in without being so repetitive just with a loop.
Yeah, and that's what I would challenge you to do is really to look into Strava and try and create some good maps. Like I don't know how close you are to downtown.
It's like 4 miles.
Yeah. Yeah. I think you can get creative, man, and you could find some really like for me because I don't live in a big city, man, running in a city is fun. Like
Hmm.
I loved it. Like when I ran CIM coming into Sacramento and it's like, you know, people forget that's the capital of California. So
Yeah.
it's like you're running up to the Capitol building. You know, there's big buildings everywhere. There's palm trees, which I was like, what? We're kind of in like Northern California, but uh I mean it was sick. Running in cities is fun. I
I
don't
actually rode up on a race.
did you?
They had a home run 5K or something going on like around the stadium.
That's going to be on a future episode. I'm about to sign up for a 5 mile trail race that's coming up in like a month or so.
Okay.
So Yeah, we should do something like that where you should sign up for like a local race to just go test out and see what it's like.
Park has them all the time. The one right down the street.
Huh? The park has them?
Park does like 10Ks and 5Ks all the time. I swear it's every other week.
Get in one, dude. Test it out. See where you're at. That would be fun. Um, and you've never done a race before.
No. Tough Mudder, but I don't know if that counts. I mean, it's intense, but
Yeah.
it's not
Yeah.
the same.
No, I don't think it counts. Maybe it counts.
It counts as something,
It counts,
but not as a running
but
race.
not as a running event. It's
No.
really not. Um, yeah, we'll just leave that there. I don't want we don't want the Tough Mudder mob coming for us. Anyway, shout out to all Tough Mudders. I've done multiple of them, so they're fun.
They're fun.
Uh all right, so that's good. So week 2 is in the book. This is the start of week 3.
No, this is week 2.
This is the start of week 2. Okay. Good. Then the pod is right on course.
Yes, sir.
Um okay. I think so here's my goal before I get into the Vortex Ultra. I woke up at 4:30 in the morning to go to the Vortex Ultra. And like I have PTSD because I woke up this morning at like 5:40 thinking like, "Huh!" but I think I'm going to start waking up. No, I don't think I am. I'm going to start waking up and getting my runs in because the sun is coming up at like 5:35 here.
Yeah.
So
Y'all are in the 80s like every day now too, right?
yeah, it was like 86 today. So, I mean, it's that time of year in Arizona. It's warm. So running in the morning is something that I really want to get used to doing because it's going to be harder for me to start training and running longer distances when it's midday and it's
Mhm.
100 degrees. And with everything else that I've got going on, it is really, really difficult. So I think this week my goal is to get one run in before the kids and everybody gets up.
What are you talking
Um,
like 5:30, 6:30 or
yeah, probably get up at 5:30, just pound some salt water and then head out the door.
yeah.
Um, Short runs too, like, that's how you win these battles is you don't like your training block, your first long run was 4 miles, like you're stacking wins. Like
Yeah.
it's you like my first run in the morning, I'm not going to be like, "Oh yeah, I'm going to wake up and go run 7 miles." Like no, I'm going to run like 3 on the road, just be super easy and casual about it
Enjoy it.
to just start, yeah, just have fun and to just start in that routine because like my fitness is there, but I need to gain the consistency of running to really be able to maximize and be in a good headspace pacing you this summer. Because I don't want to be sucking wind next to you and like no. So that's where my mindset is. I'm gonna try and start waking up early. And the sunrise for the Vortex Ultra was beautiful. At 6 a.m., it's just like the sky's pink,
Is that
dude.
when
Like
it
it's
kicked off, or is that just the kind of when you got there and got all set up and everything?
No, the ultra started at 6.
Jeez.
You have to. Those runs take
I mean, what is an ultra? That's
an
like,
ul-
is that 50 miles?
an ultra marathon is anything over a marathon.
Okay.
So we offered a 34 miler and a 50 miler, and they both started at
And that's
6 a.m.
all, that's trail running.
Yes. Yeah, trails. So, I mean, I saw some people where, I mean, yeah, they climbed 3,800 feet
Oh, God.
of like vertical. So, yeah, they were brutalized, man. I mean, some people were not looking good at the end. Like a paramedic had to be called. It was tough. So, so yeah, thoughts about the Vortex Ultra. So let's just get into let's get into the Vortex Ultra. One, the first golden nugget is waking up early and running in the sunrise in Sedona, Arizona is maybe the most beautiful. Like the pink skies and the red rocks, like I have to be a morning runner. I've
Yeah.
said this for years. I just have to do it because then it's like 60, 55 degrees. It's cool.
Perfect. It's
It's
perfect.
perfect. So I have to start running in the morning. That's take number one. Take number two, the juiciest story from the Vortex Ultra is I'm helping everyone getting their GPS apps loaded. I'm answering questions about the course. I'm helping all of these people that have grown to know me over the past couple months because I was running the social media page. And we get them on the start line. I I shoot my drone up in the air, getting these beautiful aerial shots, and it's go. And they're going through the gate, and you get that like real cinematic shot. Then I just turn with them because I know when they turn Thunder Mountain, which is a really iconic, picturesque mountain here in Sedona. I just knew it was beautiful. So I just followed them and I'm like, oh my God, this is so good. This is so beautiful. Erica, the RD, the race director, I grab her and I'm like, come look at how beautiful this is. We're watching the screen on the remote and all of a sudden I like get sick to my stomach because every single runner is going the wrong way.
Oh no.
They are all going the wrong way.
So what do you do?
Regardless of what
Down
the
after
G
them?
regardless of what the GPS said, Erica got on the mic beforehand. Hey, God, but runners are in their heads.
Hmm.
They're not really listening to what's going on, clearly. So I look at Erica and I'm like, they're going the wrong way. They should be going straight, and they're just like doo 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 off.
It's
And
like
it's
one
just
person decided to go that way, and they're just like, "Yep, he knows where he's going."
yeah, exactly. There's a
Oh
pack
no.
mentality. You're following someone who you just assume knows where they're going. He did not know where the fuck he was going.
Oh.
So I'm like horrified because I'm like, where are these dudes gonna go? So we get on the phone and we're calling people down there and we're like, get them back on the course. Like, what are you doing? So I fly the drone back and I'm just like freaking out. I fly the drone back as fast as I can. I land it, lock it, band it up in my pack, strap the pack. I'm still wearing a hoodie, and I just, oof, I'm talking probably 5-minute mile pace. I'm flying down the course. Everyone is running to corral these dudes in. So finally, we get them all back on the trail. And we're like, oh my God. Okay. That did not go according to plan. So that's the first leg, but it wasn't just an ultra marathon. We also had the following leg was a 12-mile race and a 21-mile race. And for that, we were prepared. We said,
Mhm.
hey, everyone else took the wrong turn before. You guys are going to go. And I said, Erica, I'm going to go stand at the point. When the runners come down, I will run them to the trail. She's like, perfect. All right, great. Great idea. So I do that and I wait for them and I get with the first guy and I pace him and I say, all right, dude, here you go. Boom. Go. Good luck. Have fun. And I'm cheering him on. I'm videoing like, woo, yeah, let's go. You know, I'm like partying with these people, high fiving, vibes are high. Everything is great. And
Uh-oh.
then here comes some. Now, this is like an hour and a half later. And I'm standing there getting everyone off. And here come these goons coming the wrong way, ripping down the trail the wrong way. And I'm like looking at their bibs because the bibs are all different colors. And all the 12 and 21 milers is like they have like pink bibs or like reddish bibs.
Yeah.
Here come these dudes trucking back with green bibs on. And I'm like, what are you doing? Where do you think you're going? I'm like, you're lost. Stop. They're like, no, dude, we're 50 milers. I'm like, I don't care who you think you are lost. So I'm like, come here. One dude started yelling at me and he was like, you're incompetent. You don't know what you're doing. I'm not the one lost, dude. This wasn't my fault that you are lost. And he told me flat out, he was like, the app said stay right at the remnant trail break. I said,
They
give me
run in
your.
a circle and they started coming back.
So I said, give me your phone, dude. And I opened the phone and I said, it told you to stay right at the remnant trail, right? He was like, yeah. I zoomed into his map and I turned the phone around and I said, here is the remnant trail. You went left. So like you just did a 4 mile loop,
Oh
4 to
no.
5 extra miles. And he was he was mad. And he was like, this course is bullshit and these signs are bullshit and the GPS is bullshit. And I'm like, it told you to go right and you went left. And I said, in the app, and I said, but that is part of the course. That's where you finish.
Hmm.
But like the app doesn't know that you're not off course. You just didn't listen.
I feel like that's a part of like trail running races too. Like you got to be an extra level prepared with because I mean, shit, just hiking on trails sometimes it's easy to get lost, you know?
Yeah. And that is the truth. I mean, people get lost on ultra marathons. It's just
Hmm.
what happens. It's part of it. You might think that a trail looks like a trail, but it's not. It's like a deer trail, you know what I mean? Like where it's just been trampled down a lot.
Yeah.
But yeah, he was not stoked. Rightfully so. Like I get it. You took a wrong turn, but like again, it wasn't my fault. Like
Yeah.
you really do like, dude, for CIM, I watched videos of the whole course 10 times. I knew where the turns were. I knew what was coming. The guy that won the Vortex Ultra didn't have a phone or a watch.
Was he a local?
No, he's from
Oh,
California. And I'm telling you, this dude was a mule. He was huge. He was jacked. And he only had two squishy water bottles.
yeah. For
Animal.
50 miles?
Yes. And he just filled them up at aid stations and would be like, thanks.
Oh,
It-
okay. Okay. For a
Yeah.
second, I
So,
thought you meant like my man just did it with 18 fluid.
no, no, no. No, he was locked up, dude. So, anyways, I got those dudes because I knew the course, because I ran majority of the course. I was like, look, if you take this trail right over here, I'm showing them on the map. I'm like, you see, you're going to be cutting off all of these loops. It'll take you to aid station one. And the way ultras go, I mean, this is kind of what happens where now you change the cutoffs because like a dozen people did 5 miles extra in the morning. I went to the final aid station, not the final aid station, but like the 30-mile aid station, and I caught them later in the day. And I was like, don't worry about the 4:30 cutoff because you're already 40 miles deep. I'm going to go meet you back at the final aid station and we're going to see how many miles you have there. And then there's a 5 mile loop and a 3 mile loop. Since you already ran an extra 5 mile loop, you'll probably just have to do the three and then you're good. So it is like a math thing, but really the debacle was people getting lost. Now, this dude who got lost was wearing a Coors Light hat and Brooks road running shoes. So I don't know what he thought he was getting into, but but he was not ready. And like, yeah, to blame us for the course is like, do you think that people at Cocodona 250, like, do you think there's flags just lining the trail? Do you think they laid down 6 million flags so that people don't get like, no, dude. People have researched the trail and the course. The speed project that just happened goes from Santa Monica to Las Vegas, and there is no trail. So, like, what are you going to do? There
Right.
is no course. You just go there.
I mean, he's provided the resources. That's
He
when
was
you
provided the resources.
dive
We
in and you
we
research it, man.
we did an Instagram live. We showed people how to use the apps where, like, when you're in the app using it on your phone, but you
Yeah.
just need to know the right way to go. And the guy who won, who looked like a damn Navy SEAL, he knew where to go, dude. And yeah, it just goes. And I mean, the bad thing was, is he told us too that his girlfriend came in second.
The Navy SEAL or the guy that got
No,
lost?
the idiot who said that we were incompetent.
They weren't studying together at night then, I assume.
That's what I said. So how did your girlfriend come in second? She could read the race. She read the maps.
Mm-hmm.
She listened to the GPS.
Like, weren't y'all looking into this together?
Are we incompetent, or are you? So that was really it. But I will say this: when I was grabbing all of those guys who got lost, they were not stoked. That one guy was the least stoked, but the other people were mad. But when I caught them later in the day, there's a choice that you have to make in running. If something bad happens, you can be an angry asshole about it all day, the whole run, and you can let it zap your energy and you can pull out of the race just like that dude did. And you can just be a grumpy asshole.
Mhm.
Or you have the opportunity to go, you know what? I got lost, but I'm going to make it up and I'm going to get back on course and I'm going to keep going. Because I met those dudes at 47 miles and they are dog ass tired, dead. And they were like, and I was like, look, I'm sorry about the beginning, like that was tough, but I'm glad you guys are here. And they were like, you know what? It was our fault. This course is beautiful. Everything the rest of the day went really well. So, you have these choices.
Mhm.
And that's really a big macro level view of what running is going to be. You have the opportunity to run. You have the opportunity to run and be like, oh, this sucks, or it's so rainy, or it's cold, or it's hot. Or you can like morph into a beast and be running in the rain and think you're Ray Lewis.
Not to
And
mention the thoughts alone just like completely will affect your run 100%.
dude, 100%. And they're exacerbated over a 50-mile course. Like, if you're running 50 miles, you better get your head out of your ass, dude,
Yeah.
or it's going to be a long fucking day. So, and you know what? All of the other guys that finished did exactly that. Shifted their mindset and then they kept going. And they said, we're going to get this done. And then the one dude, he just wanted some Coors Lights and he was mad and he wanted to blame other people. But really, running teaches self responsibility and self awareness. Are you going to be able to show up, put in the work, and do it, and do the shit that you need to do to show up on race day? Because, like, yeah, you can totally blow up if you're not ready.
Yeah.
Like on the 21-mile trail race before, the reason why I ran CIM the way that I did is because I learned by blowing up in the 21-mile trail race a couple months prior to the marathon.
Yeah.
I learned how important it was to have a proper hydration and fueling strategy. And I didn't take it serious, and I like cramped up, died, pulled my groin, like my body gave out.
Yeah.
So, but I ran CIM I didn't miss a single aid station. I hit all my electrolytes. I took all my gels, and that preparation it's on me to do
Hmm.
that. I removed that excuse because it was all me. So that was the Vortex Ultra. In the end, everyone had a blast. I mean, the party was lit. The vendor village was lit. My buddy Troy was giving massages to everybody. Like, we had a recovery center where people get those, like, those like big inflatable socks that help with like inflammation and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, there was that. There was this stuff called poutine. It's like a Canadian dish. I don't even know what it is,
You don't
but
know
it's
what
like,
poutine is, man?
I never heard of poutine.
It's like fries with gravy on it, right?
And some cheese.
Like cheeseburgers,
It
dude.
was it was fire. Poutine is fire.
Yeah.
Um, I was running all over the map. I picked up a couple people off the side of the road, and I was just like, "You guys are lost. We're gonna call it a day." And they were like, "We don't have any water. We're gonna walk back." I'm like, "No, get in the truck. Here's a couple water bottles. Like, it's okay to DNF." That's the final thing that I'll say. The people that did DNF and pulled themselves out of the race, strength, dude. That is big, big veteran level strength to just be like, it's not my day and I'm not going to hurt myself. And that's okay. It's okay that the heat and the exhaustion got me today.
Hmm.
DNFing in a ultra marathon is like, that happens all the time.
I'm sure.
So yeah, that was the Vortex Ultra. But I mean, mainly what I took away was the energy that's still with me right now is seeing those finish line faces where people are just utterly exhausted, and how grateful they were and like how proud of themselves they were, all the camaraderie that was there. Like, people were, you get in this race mode and people are like all loving on each other, like, all high-fiving, hugging each other. It's just like, it's such a dope vibe. And the community of running, and this extends online as well. Like, you'll see it. People are just going to start supporting our page. I guarantee you.
Yeah.
And just being like, yeah, dude, get after it. Like, the online community is just beautiful. So, um, that's really what I took from it. It was a fun thing to put on and be a part of. And it's got my running juices flowing. So I'm about to hit the training like a beast,
There we
like it's a
go.
Ray Lewis in the rain situation. And yeah, man, excited. This is your week 2. This is gonna be like my for real week 1. So
Mhm.
I did 3 miles today, ran up a mountain, then we're hitting the road. You know what? I might get out there tomorrow morning. Just say
There you
fuck it.
go.
Just do it.
There you go.
I just talked about self-responsibility and how you have to do things if you say you're gonna do them, and it's up to you. Well, it's up to me. So here we
All
go.
this stuff is like brand new to me, like all these aid stations and like just the whole event aspect of running. That's uncharted territory that I'm gonna get into at some point, and that should be fun.
Yeah, it will be fun. And I mean, the more that I think about it, you don't really need an aid station for a half marathon.
Yeah.
Like, when I
I
asked,
need to get some type of hydration system though, running out here for sure. Because I'm not gonna start carrying a water bottle with me when I'm running 12 miles.
you could.
Yeah.
The Solomon vest is probably the best thing you could ever do.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. But then again, like, when I talked to a local runner here he's a good runner. He was like, "Yeah, you don't really need hydration and fueling. Like, you don't really need hydration if you're running like under 20 miles. Like, if
Yeah.
you're hydrated from the day before in the morning of, like, you're pretty set and good to go." Like, during my half marathon, I only took maybe like two swigs of bottles of water, and then I just like threw it on the ground.
Because you don't want to drink too much either. That weight, like, and the feeling of it sloshing around, that's real.
Yeah, I mean, like a squirt bottle would be good. Like, we might be able to get away with stopping halfway. It depends.
The
It depends.
difference though is you drip a hell of a lot more sweat out there than you do out here.
You do. You do. I mean, that's a factor. We're gonna be losing a lot of water, so we're gonna need to replenish.
A lot more.
So that's a fact. The question is are we gonna stop midway? Like, is this gonna be a party run half marathon, or are we gonna like push?
I mean, if there's a good looking coffee shop in town in
Well,
Calabasas,
the bagel shop that's right down there.
I don't know. Y'all go into Calabash way more than me, man. I'm not that hip to it. But I'm down for a bagel halfway through.
We'll see. We'll talk about
I'm
this.
not
We'll
beating
talk
myself.
about this. We will talk about this going forward. All right, you've got your week 2 situated. You've got 5 miles is the long run this week.
Saturday morning.
I'm gonna try and leg out. I think my long run, I'm gonna maybe go for 7. And we're gonna go from there. We're gonna keep stacking miles. And yeah, my only challenge to you is to, one, just be consistent, do those runs. If you don't make it out to do a hill day, don't beat yourself up. Just throw in another speed day
Yeah.
and push your hill workout to, dude, it could be next week, it could be 3 weeks from now. Like, it doesn't need to be right now. So like, don't let that hold you up. Just keep pushing. If it's another speed workout, just download another speed workout. And 2, rear facing camera. We're gonna do you. We need documentation now. So start taking reels.
All right.
All right. And that about wraps it up. That is episode 2 of the Brothers on the Run podcast. Let us know what you think. Drop us a comment, a review, 5 stars. Or if you have any comments, just shoot us a DM or questions or anything at all. Shoot us DMs, comments, all the things. We're here to talk about the things that also you want to hear about. With that, we'll see you guys after week 2, heading into week 3. See you guys later.